Welcome to OnCrawl's Getting Started tutorials. Today we're going to walk through how to upload a log file to OnCrawl. Servers record the details of every request they receive from bots or visitors to provide the content of a URL. Each request is a log line and looks something like this. A line might include a variety of different data, but for SEO, your log lines must include the query path or the full URL, a date with time and time zone, the user agent of the visitor, the referrer or the site from which the visitor came before arriving at your URL, and the status code of the requested URL. If your files or your analyses contain multiple domains or subdomains, you must also include the vhost if it's not already present in the full URL. And if your files contain HTTP and HTTPS hits, you also must add the scheme or protocol, that is HTTP or HTTPS, or the port of the request if it's not already part of the URL. If this isn't present, we'll assume all requests are for HTTPS. We also highly recommend that you include the client IP, which Google recommends using to detect fake Googlebot hits, the size of the response in bytes, and the response time, which is not present in this example. For SEO purposes, we'll concentrate only on lines in your log files that provide useful information, such as organic hits, or lines with a search engine as a referrer, and search engine bot hits, or lines with an official search engine user agent and IP address. Any other lines will be filtered out. To upload a file to OnCrawl, you will first need to activate log monitoring for this project and convert your project to an advanced project. We'll ask you a bunch of questions about your log files. It's okay if you don't know the answers, but if you do, this helps us parse your files later. Do you use HTTP or HTTPS? Do you want to analyze subdomains? Do you want to analyze multiple domains? What is your time zone? Do you use a cache server? Do your log files contain HTTP or HTTPS? Do your log files contain information for multiple subdomains? What about multiple domains? And do all files have the same log format? Use an FTP client to connect to the OnCrawl server. Make sure that 1. Your log files are zipped as a .zip, .gz, or .7z file, or formatted as a CSV file, and 2. Your company's firewall is open to FTP connections. You have a secure, private space to upload your log files. By default, the login and password are the same as for your OnCrawl account, but you can contact us to change that if necessary. Once logged in, choose the folder that corresponds to the project you're uploading log files for and upload your files here. Return to OnCrawl to check how your files are parsed, that is, broken down into fields. Every server is different. OnCrawl tests common patterns to try to find the one that fits your log lines. Here's the result. We explain any difficulties we found. In this case, the automatic parser couldn't decide whether the lines were HTTP or HTTPS. This is an error and we can't continue until it's fixed. We couldn't find which subdomain requests these should be applied to. This is a warning, so it should be fixed to prevent errors in analysis but isn't required. We also didn't find any SEO visits. This is also a warning, so if you know there are no organic visits in this file, you can safely ignore it. You can remap the fields found in your file by switching to manual mode. For each field, choose the right type of information. You might not need to use all of the labels in the drop-down menu, and that's okay. When you're done, click Check Logs Format to see the results of your changes. When OnCrawl can identify all of the information it needs, you'll see the result, everything seems okay, even if you still have warnings. Click Configuration is not okay to go back in to make more changes. If you use a CDN, it might replace the IP address of the bot or visitor with its own. If this is the case, to find Googlebots, we'll need to remove the IP verification step. You can also supply the server's time zone if it isn't available in the logs. If you can't get your logs set up right, you can also contact us, and we'll be happy to help you get your log parsing sorted out. When you're sure that you're happy with the parsing, click Configuration is OK. Once you've gotten log monitoring set up and running, you can see an overview of the main statistics from the project homepage. You can also take a look at the history of your log processing, as well as how many bot hits and organic visits were found in previous files. We also show you the number of filtered lines, which we ignored, and errors. Neither filtered lines nor errors count towards your monthly quota. Click on a file to view a sample of each type of line. You will need to upload your log data regularly to make sure there are no gaps in your data. Even small gaps make it look like there's been a drop in SEO activity on your site. Plenty of solutions exist to automate uploading log files to keep you from forgetting and to make your job easier. If you're interested in automating your uploads, or if you have questions, reach out to us from the OnCrawl interface by clicking on the blue intercom button at the bottom of the screen, or tweet to us at OnCrawl_CS. See you next time. Until then, happy crawling!